Hello, welcome back. My name is Shimona, and today I am bringing you my updated, advanced, up to 500, whatever you want to call it, merchanting guide. Currently, I am 117 merchanting, but I kind of made a little bit of a tier list based off of my current level. I also want to talk through kind of my route and how it works, kind of juggling. As you get a higher level, it gets a little bit more advanced, as well as I want to share some resources with you. I made a little bit of a tier list, as you can see here. I'm going to kind of explain this and go through it. I'll link this in the description, as well as I've got some tools that I pulled up. The route finder. I want to talk a little bit about the wiki, as well as this guy made a pretty, I thought might be a little bit of useful post. But again, I'll link all this stuff down into the comment, or not the comments, but the description. Um, but let's first talk about merchanting. Let's talk about useful unlocks for the skill. First off, you have a not a hard requirement, but very useful would be to get to, I believe it's 86, 83 detective skill. Detective has this one feature of it, one activity that's called crime den raids. Basically, you kind of there's two different rate like houses in a path. You break in, you kill a bunch of people. Once you kill all of them, you get a chunk of detective XP, and then you kind of run and go to the next one. Whenever you clear out one of the rooms, the doors actually stays open, and it opens up a permanent path on the map for you. So we've got the level 83 one, we've got the level 18 one, we've got level 51 and level 4. Um, Up until about 140 detective, I want to say. Uh, the level 83 one up here is not super useful. It is a little useful, but not super useful. So, if for whatever reason you want to dive into merchanting earlier, or maybe you just have like a goal of level 100, you don't need to get 83. But of course, all of these will help. And I would highly recommend it. I mean, if you plan on going to 200 or above 200, uh, just don't waste your time. Go get 83 Detective. It's very easy. If you need a guide on Detective, I'll give you a very quick guide. Just train it through doing raids. You're going to get combat XP and you're going to get Detective XP at the same time. You're going to need the combat to clear these rooms and open up these pathways, anyways. So you might as well level them up. It's super efficient, super easy. You just you start at the level 4 one here, you break in, you kill like 5 guys, and you get a good chunk of detective XP, and you kind of do a circular loop. Um, Once you kind of get to higher break points, you will need to go kill some mobs and farm up some gear for yourself so you can do the next one. But usually, once you get about 5 levels over the raid, anyways, no matter what kind of gear you found, you'll be able to do it. So super easy, super AFK, really fast actually. Um, it's actually what I plan on doing through the Leagues 5 that's about to come out from Old School RuneScape. I'm going to train a lot of detective doing raids. So uh, do it early. Just get it done. That way you never have to worry about it again. There is one other requirement, which is 55 merchanting. You can open up this abandoned alleyway here. I think it has a cost of maybe 250 or 80 silver. I'm not exactly sure. But once you get 55 detective, you're going to start the fortune hold quest, the battle of fortune hold. You don't have to complete it. It does have a hard requirement of 50 leatherworking and 55 merching to complete, but you only have to start it and you can open up this path pretty easily with just 55 merchanting. And that connects, you turn in the toys, the dolls here, you pick up pumpkins here, you turn in pizzas here at the fruit stall, you pick up bananas. It's also got the watch stall here, which is really good. And it's, close to the outskirts portal stone. So really good, really good. Highly recommend you do all of these before you get into merchanting or unlock them as soon as you can. Will make your life a lot easier. Merchanting is already an extremely fast skill, as well as it gives a ton of knowledge points. Um, so making it as fast as possible is just going to make it even better. Um, One other thing, don't waste your knowledge points on merchanting. It is, like I said, an extremely fast skill and it gives a lot of knowledge points. use those knowledge points on either a slower skill or a skill that doesn't give as many knowledge points. I used all my knowledge points from merchanting to either level up leatherworking, where I got it to 62, and I decided to stop because uh, I believe the one of the breakpoints here, the XP goes up pretty well. Yeah, the level 57, the XP breakpoint goes up pretty high, and since I'm leveling merchanting anyways, I do get discounts on the hides, and I'm gonna need hides anyways to level armory, so I stopped boosting it. I did get it up to 50 for the quest, and I kept doing it just because I didn't know where else to put it. But currently, I'm using my knowledge points. Like I got my alchemy all the way up to uh, where did I get it up to? I got it up to 50, 56 using knowledge points, and then I trained it from here. Because once you get to 56, you make money and it's really fast. Oh, not 56. I'm sorry, the 62. Once you get it to 62, it's really fast and you make money. So I didn't feel like I needed to put points anymore on that. I got my foraging up to 23. I'm currently putting it up into fishing. I'm going to get it up to probably 36 and then I'll stop there. Maybe 39 just so I can unlock the things like that. But yeah, don't use, basically the gist is don't use your knowledge points on merchanting. It's so fast, you make good money. And unless you really hate it or you're trying to go for rank one, it's better off to just use your knowledge points elsewhere because it's such a good knowledge point producer. You don't want to end it as fast as possible. um, yeah, so let's talk about the paths, or I guess we can dive into the tier list. So this is kind of at my current point at level 117. Um, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of the always take ones, not only are they really high base experience, but they are always on route as well as they give a lot of knowledge points. So bananas, pumpkins, and wine, all three of them turn in here. Uh, Wine and pumpkins turn in the vase stall, which is right here. Bananas turn into the clockwork stall right here. And the grape seed wine, which is the or sharp seed wine, turns in here in the boardroom. You actually buy it up in Tommy's Shoes one, but you can buy a bunch of them, just turn them in here, drop the extras, and they're right next to the board. So you can turn them in really easily. These are my S tier. Anytime I see them, I always take them. Um, if you have extra room when you go buy them, just buy extras. One thing to note, when you're lower level, you have um, very few different contracts you can get. Your pool's not so diluted that you're always going to be seeing kind of the same things, and you can kind of guarantee you always will kind of get the ones you need, even if you buy extras. So you'll within 10 minutes you'll usually find duplicates, and you can use those extra resources you bought. As you level, your pool is going to get more and more diluted. So I'm level 117 right now. So I have, how many is this? 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 different contracts. My pool is extremely diluted and I don't get duplicates as often as I would like to. So it's kind of good to have a priority of list, what you want to focus on, and kind of determine when it's worth to do something and when it's not to. So coming back to here, I always pick up these A tier ones as well. Pretty much anything in the S or A tier, I always pick up. I prioritize S tier just because my main focus and my main strategy when doing merchanting is to kind of prioritize running down this hallway because it kind of connects you to almost everything. So this is where you turn in ribs. This is where you turn in the raw meat. This is where you turn in not only the cloth from textiles plus the the penny, what do you call it, whatever comes from the clock stall, you turn in. Up here you also turn in bananas. Right here you turn in wine, pumpkins. Right here you turn in soap. And a lot of these you also can buy useful stuff. So here's where you buy carrots. Here's where you buy the ribs that go to the outer market. Here's where you can buy the penny's clockwork, which again comes down to the clock stall. easily accessible through the alleyway here. There's so much that goes on in this one alley. It's kind of what I prioritize. And, you know, again, one of the other really good assignments are pizzas, which turn in up here. And it's nice because, again, this is where you pick up bananas. This is where you pick up pumpkins. Not very often am I coming up here. More and more recently, ever since I've started getting the clocks, I kind of head up here. But again, that's kind of my priority. It's just staying within this alley. Um, and that's kind of how all these work. So again, the pizza turns in at the fruit stall, which is where you buy bananas. The vases, you can buy these from the stall where you turn in pumpkins and the Arganian wines, and they turn in Henderson's meats, which is right next to where the turn-ins are at. If you, well, let me see, show you. So again, this is where you buy the vases and you turn them in here in Henderson Meats. And again, Henderson Meats has a turn in. You can buy something here that turns in at the Halleck Street Foods. So, it is kind of prioritizing the best things. Same with the carriage clocks. Again, the carriage clocks you buy here from the clock stall, you turn them into Penny's Clockworks. So, again, I'm kind of prioritizing turn ins that work on this street. You can always buy extras. So, if you have extra inventory space when you're here at the clock stall, just buy some extras and just drop them here at Penny's Clockwork when you go tournament. You know, you're always running down the street. If you have one of these like contracts, it might not be worth running down and buying. But like if you have some jump on the floor, you can just pick them up, turn it in real quick while you're doing whatever like your priority is at the time. Going back to this list, this next tier, the B tier, I would only take these if they support one of the ones I'm doing here. So again, for example, if I need carriage clocks from the clock stall to take the Penny's Clockworks, I'll pick up some homespun cloth because how that works is I start here, I'm going to run down to the textile stall, I'm going to buy some of the cloth, maybe I'll buy some wines if I need it while I'm here. I'm going to take the cloth up to the clock stall, turn it in here at the clock stall, pick up the carriage clocks from here, and then run up, turn them in here, and again, I can turn in wine here. So these are kind of good supporting ones. You'll always kind of be hitting these stalls anyways. Again, you're going to the pumpkin stall a lot, just not for pumpkins, but you can also go up there for the bananas and turning at pizzas. So, if I know I'm going to need to go get some pumpkins, maybe I'll go to this toy stall, get some dolls for it. Again, Clockwork Sheep. It's right here on the main alley. You're going to be going down a lot, buy some, take it down here, turn it in, and then teleport back. Henderson's Meats. If you're ever turning in the vases, you know, when you turn in the vases, you'll be right here. You can buy some meats. And again, the meat turn in is along this alley. So you'll be passing it a lot. So it's a good one to get. It's not that great because the XP is pretty low, but it's just kind of like a convenient one. I take it if it supports it. Same with the carrots. Carrots give a lot of XP. They're pretty good. They're right here, right next to the vase stall, and they turn in here at the toy stall. So, if you have turn-ins over here, you can buy some carrots, teleport back, check the board, and then you can come down here, turn it in, and then you can buy some wines or cloth, hit the cloth stall. It's all about kind of lining things up. And again, the 10 watches, same thing. You're coming up here all the time to pick up bananas and pumpkins. You'll also be turning in pizzas. You can pick up some watches, and then once you come back, you check the stall. You can turn in the watches up here, and then while you're turning the watches, you can come up here and get some more of the seed vine wines, which are turned in at the stall. So, um, the C tier are kind of ones that they're kind of out of the way, for the most part. Um, I will pick them up if there's not any other good ones, but it's very rarely will I'll get them. Um, I'll only do them if I get a second one, and they'll be the ones that I throw away. So, like for example, if I'm here at the board, I have no contracts right now. I'll pick up the whole board, of course, because there's no reason not to. And with this current board, I would be looking to probably go pick up some pumpkins. Maybe I'll get a pizza so I can, buy pumpkins, turn in the pizza, buy some bananas, and then I'll come back, check the board, see if I get any duplicates. But I'll hold a full empty board because why not? I have the space. Next time I come to the board, maybe if I get a duplicate, I'll prioritize a duplicate over something that might be better, because duplicates are great. You know, you're going somewhere already for one thing. Why not double down on it? Um, so that's kind of why they're here. But again, if I have any of these better ones, or if I have a supporting one that fits something that I already have, I'll definitely be dropping stuff from this tier, even if I have a duplicate, just because kind of staying on route is always better than going off route just for one or two. And then, of course, the never tier. These are all ones that either originate or end at the Unicorn Farm slash the Cyclops store. It's not really that easy to get out here. It is easy, but you do go through these tigers, and these tigers usually put you in combat. Then you have to cast the get out of the combat. It I just you have so many different options. You do kind of have to pick and choose what you want to do, and since you already do have pretty much like you know I don't know what percentages this is, but it's like so this is 10, 18, 23. Um, you'll have already half your board kind of what you want to get. You're going to have some stuff that you just never want to get, because if you're kind of like trying to juggle a bunch of different things, you'll kind of never do it. So I just avoid that one simply because of the tigers. There's two paths of tigers, they're narrow. You almost always get put in combat with the tiger. It's kind of different. Like here at the zombies are slow moving, and you can usually get through these without ever getting thrown in combat, and there's not really any other paths that kind of run you through combat. So that's kind of why I just avoid anything that has to do with the cheese shop or the Cyclops. It's just too far out of the way, and getting through combat is just kind of a headache. Especially if you're kind of just like chilling and watching something, you don't want to get thrown into combat and potentially die, and it's just such a headache. um, but yeah, that's kind of my like prioritizing list and how it works. And using the same kind of logic, you can easily fill in the higher tiers as you go. And maybe you'll have a different like priorities. I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of how I've gotten used to it. You could prioritize like going down the hallway. Um, Again, my main priority is just working along this central alley. Sometimes I come down here if I need to. I almost never come up here, just because, again, the soap stall, Tommy's Shoe Wines, and Monocle Market. I'll probably only ever come up here if I get two of the antiques to turn in, and then while I'm up here, I'll buy some of the wines, and then I'll come back and I'll just drop all the wines. So coming back to the juggling thing, juggling doesn't work as well as you get a higher level, because again, your pool becomes so much more diluted. You're not likely to find um, the bounties you want, because it's 6 bounties every 2 minutes. If stuff lasts on the floor for 10 minutes, that means you have like 5 chances to find the specific bounties you might want. Um, so previously, I would say like before like level 60, you could probably fill up your inventory and just juggle a lot of stuff. Like if you've seen my previous video on merchanting, you can juggle a lot of stuff on the floor. After like level 60 or 70 or 80, I wouldn't juggle as many things unless they're out of the way and they're easy to turn in. So the wines that you get from Tommy's Shoes Wines that turn in literally right here, I would fill up on these and juggle these here. Um, Other good ones, of course, are pumpkins, bananas, and the wines down here. Pretty much everything else, I would maybe only buy 6 extra just in case. The vases, the ribs, the the beef joints, carrots. A lot of these I would only buy extras, and I would only have them in case I found like another bounty on the board. But I'm not buying full inventories anymore. I'm not juggling like 12 to 18 items of each different item. At the most, you'll see, carriage clocks. I'll buy like 6 extra carriage clocks, and I'll take them with me, and I'll drop them. I'll leave them right here right next to the turn in, just because I'm running down this alley all the time. Same with soap, I'll leave 6 extra. Just because having one bounty of the clockwork or the soap, it's just not enough to justify going all the way out of the way to pick up more. But if I have that one and there's just resources sitting there on the ground, I'll do it. Same with like the pizza. I'll buy extra pizza and I'll drop it outside the banana stall. But of course, things like the bananas, the wines, the pumpkins, these wines, even these, I would always buy as much extra as you can carry, and I would juggle them just because they are good turn-ins, and you're always running down this alley. Um, Other than that, the biggest thing is don't waste your time standing here at the bounty board. Um, if you want to take an easier route of leveling merchanting, you can just sit here and just try and match up duplicates as you can. But really, if you're trying to achieve the best XP per hour, knowledge points per hour, trying to be as efficient as possible, it's going to be something of constantly moving. As soon as you hit this board, even with 30 seconds left, I would be gone and I'd be moving on to the next thing. Even if it's something little, it just kind of depends. You should just always be doing something. So, like a vase, I would maybe go, even if it's not going to turn anything in, maybe I see I have like 2 vases here. So I'm just going to take the 2 vases. I'm going to run over here, buy a bunch of vases, and then come back. And maybe I'll check the board before I turn in the vases. Maybe I'll turn the vases in. There's all kind of different, you can always be doing something. Sitting at the board, you're just kind of wasting time because there's no guarantee, especially as your pool becomes more and more diluted. There's no guarantee that you're going to get something that might be useful. Like if you look right here, I literally just got a full board of no duplicates. Um, there's no guarantee. So you're better off on average just continually moving, continually working on something, doing something, and then you can always come back and, between whenever you can come check on the board and update it. Um, that's basically it. That's like the biggest thing about merchanting is just to always be doing something. Um, so here's the resources. One of these, a guy did a write up, kind of talking through his experiences and different things, like how each one works. I pull this one out mainly for the map. This can be useful if you're just starting out. This map shows where you buy each of the resources, which is handy. If you click on your bounty, you can click show on map and it shows where you turn this bounty in. But if you're not sure where they come from, this map shows you. So again, you buy the plates here and you turn in the plates over here at the wine stall, textile stall. Um, so this can be useful for you when you're just getting started. Again, I'll link these in the comment. I'll link his post in the comment. And somebody made this very interesting Brighter Shores route finder that has all the configurations of different paths and guides. So, I have 117 merchanting. I have level 100 detective. That means I have all the runes unlocked and I have the quests unlocked. And now we're going to select the bounties I have. So I have plates, I have pizza, I have vases. I think I have a doll too. Where's the vases at? Vase doll and pumpkins. So I select the 5 things I have. And again, you can select the stuff you have on your bounty board, and then you can go and let it calculate your route for you. And this is helpful if you're trying to figure out how to prioritize. This can kind of teach you, like, again, what you should be doing first, kind of, if you're still trying to figure things out. Um, the only problem is, you're taking the time to put the bounties in, you're taking the time to put the bounties you have on your bounty board, and then, of course, you're taking the time to let it calculate. It does say that it, like, caches your calculations, so if you ever use it again in the future, it'll load quicker. But the problem is, as you get a higher level, your combinations of bounties just kind of becomes exponential. But this is a really good tool early on to kind of help you figure out pathing and like potentially helping with efficiency. Um, this is something that kind of made me think that maybe I shouldn't be doing as much merchanting early on because there are surely going to be tools like this that are going to be implemented that are going to make things easier, even if they're not directly plugged in, it is something that's going to help. I mean, this has taken forever. I didn't realize it took this long, but it's been almost what 2 minutes. So it's not something that I would recommend using all the time, but if you're new and you want to like maybe figure out, confirm with yourself that you did something the right way, you can like put it in and then you can go do your own route and then see what this suggested you did for your route. Maybe let's make this a little easier. Let's take away plates in this and we'll just do yeah, we'll do that. I mean, this is a pretty standard route. Obviously, you're gonna go get the dolls, buy the dolls, go up, get the pizzas, and then teleport to the pumpkins. Turn in the dolls, buy pumpkins, turn in the pizzas, uh, and then go turn in the pumpkins. The only problem with this is that it's not going to take into account the resources you're juggling on the ground. It's not going to take into account, recommending you extra resources to buy and hold. So these are all things that are just going to kind of come from experience. Um, I don't even know if this. I thought this worked. I mean, people were talking about it that it worked. I feel like three options should be pretty easy, but um, maybe we'll leave that for a second. And yeah, so as you get higher level, it gets more diluted. And, at 117, I do find myself a lot of time just running around turning in one bounty at a time. But that's just because that's what it is. And as you get higher and higher level, it's going to be more like that. You're not going to have duplicate bounties to do and turn in. So you should get used to that. Um, okay, I don't know. Maybe the route planner is just not working. But yeah, this is my merchanting tier list. I can kind of revise this as I get higher merchanting. Um, I hope this helps anybody. If you have any questions, let me know. I probably won't be making another Brighter Shores video for a while. This weekend, I'm helping my girlfriend move. She's moving in. And then after this weekend, Leagues 5 starts in Old School RuneScape. And I've been looking forward to that, playing with some real life friends. Maybe I'll make some Leagues 5 content. I'm really not too sure. Maybe I'll chill for a bit. I will be playing Brighter Shores. Of course, I'll be doing AFK skills. I plan on doing some AFK detective raids whenever I have some time while playing Leagues. But I wanted to get this last video out and make kind of a helpful guide on probably my favorite skill in Brighter Shores. I do want to try and get to 200 before League starts. I don't know how realistic or possible that is, but again, I will try my best. So, yeah. Um, there's one more thing. I've been thinking maybe I will record like an hour long session of me doing merchanting. And so, if people want to see like the decision making I make and like kind of how I do juggling, um, it's kind of I wanted to wait a bit before grinding merchanting because there is one update that I've been waiting for. I just don't know if they'll ever make it. I wanted a kind of like a shift click drop system, make it easier to drop things because right now you have to click an item, click an item, click drop. And it's kind of annoying, and if you have shift click drop, it makes it so much easier to juggle stuff. And if you're able to juggle stuff like really efficiently, merchanting just becomes like an even faster skill. It doesn't feel worth like even though you may know like some things are about to despawn that you had bought and left on the ground, it doesn't necessarily feel worth to pick those items up and drop them on the ground again just because it takes like so much effort and it takes a good amount of time to do all that. But if they ever do update dropping to where you can like one click drop items, um, juggling items is going to be so good for merchanting, but it's also going to be a huge pain in the ass. So that's something to keep in mind if that ever changes in the future. They can also nerf merchanting at some point in the future, simply by making stuff stay on the ground for a lot less time. I think right now it's about 10 minutes stuff stays on the ground, which is really good for merchanting. So it's kind of like that throw off, like maybe they'll update dropping so you can drop stuff on the ground really easily, but then they nerf like how long things stay on the ground. Um, it's too much of a gamble of what they'll do. So I just decided I want to level merchanting now because it feels really good to level. I want to try and get to 200 before league starts. I don't know if that'll be possible, but that's kind of my goal at the moment. Um, like I said, merchanting's such a good skill. Don't waste your time AFKing it. Don't waste your time putting knowledge points into it. If unless you just don't enjoy leveling it, of course, then do all those things. But if you enjoy leveling it, it's really good to level and just put that extra experience into other skills that are either slower or also unfun to level. Like if you're a guardian, you better be boosting up that bone right. Um, don't waste your time doing the merchanting ventures. I would put those ventures on fishing and mining. Um, but yeah, hope that helped. One other quick little pro tip: when you are teleporting, like when you're teleporting to the market, if you move your map over here, well, I can't do it. Well, let me run over. Let me do this actually. Let me teleport to outskirts. When you're teleporting back to the market, this will save you a couple seconds, but a couple seconds adds up, especially when you're teleporting like 10, 15 times an hour. When you're teleporting back to the market, just move your map over here and start spam clicking to the board. You will start moving before your screen even moves over. So, it's like 2 second saves, but again, if you're going to be teleporting back hundreds of times, and this also works when teleporting to the outskirts. Because there's no load screen, your character's technically like flying across the screen. See, you can start moving before your screen even moves over here. So that's a quick little pro tip for anybody who's interested. Um, yeah, I hope this helped. Hope you guys enjoy Brighter Shores. If you guys are planning on playing leagues, let me know. I have yet to decide what I'm gonna do in old school RuneScape leagues. There seems to be a lot of fun options. But we'll see. We'll see. There's still more release information to come out, so I'm not fully committed yet. Let's see if that thing updated. Okay, best route still calculating. Maybe this is broken. I mean, if this takes maybe like 5 seconds to load, it'll be interesting to use. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure. Maybe if I turn off configurations, carrots, soups, ribs. Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I'll link it in the comments. Maybe it'll be fixed by the time this video comes up. Um, but yeah, I hope this helped people have fun grinding out there.